This is the Pain Train Preston Quinn, one half of the Extreme Horsemen. And when I want to hear music and entertainment, I come right here. You're listening to On The Flythe with Stevie and Worden.
You are listening to On The Flythe.
What's up, guys? On the Flythe back again, and tonight I put my 1-0 record in album wars on the line against
1-0, whatever.
1-0. Woo! 1-0.
Hey, my fault. People don't have any taste. Okay,
I think people have a lot of taste. Brigade
well, that's what you
Bad
get.
Animals.
That's what you forget.
No, after Bad Animals just demolished Brigade, of course it was going to do it. You know,
Bad Animals has a couple better songs on it, but overall, Brigade's a better album.
Better. You said better. Anyway.
Yeah, you actually heard that, Stevie? Wow, yeah. Got the ears cleaned, huh?
Better songs. Halloween's over, dude. Look, is that an Asylum shirt?
No, I had my Paul Stanley chest hair. Right. No, it's actually from the End of the Road.
Yeah, I had a Asylum shirt, but I wasn't gonna wear it because that's like playing for the enemy there tonight.
I have an Animalize shirt that I wore when we did our top songs.
I've got the whole.
Oh,
all the.
See, okay, folks, I'm wearing the official shirt. He's wearing the bootleg. So
this come off of what? This come off like Etsy or something like that.
Yeah, that's not official, which is fine. You know, some of those ones that are like the knockoff, quote unquote knockoffs,
are better. And
they last longer.
Exactly.
This thing I got and it's already fading. $50 shirt and it's already fading. Yes, I was drunk and I bought it. So I gotta say last time this is in San Antonio. Last time I'll see him, I'll buy it. Whatever.
Yeah. Tonight, album wars, and we, of course, if you can tell, we're wearing our gear. Kiss. And we're going to the 80s. Asylum versus Animalize. And like we always do, Worden had first pick because I had first pick first time, and he decided to pick Asylum.
I had to go with Asylum. It was my first Kiss album ever.
Yeah. It's fine. And I was
late to the party.
Animalize. Yeah, he was very late to the party.
Everybody was already drunk, so no beer left. So,
but before we get into that, how was your Halloween?
Non-eventful. I'm doing a work project at work, and this is the last week we're doing it before the end of the year because we got like one more school to do. And so I signed up for. I was like, okay, I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll do the podcast, and Thursday we'll finish in 2 days. Should finish Monday, Tuesday, right? Well, I guess nobody signed up for Monday, so it's like a couple of us. We're not going to work tonight. We'll do it. So I only got 1 day yesterday, but it was cool. Nobody really. I mean, I don't know. I don't ever turn the light on anyway. I'm too cheap to buy candy. $14 a bag. Woo.
Yeah, candy's out gone. I had to buy some Monday, and my daughter.
You got a daughter, so it's. That's fun to do.
She's 18 though.
But she's still young.
She gave out the candy. She sat on the front.
Halloween was fun back, when I was 18 and stuff. But if you see those TikTok things, those kids trying to sell, they'll put the candy on the front porch, and this like girl was gonna like steal it all, and she saw the camera.
Yeah.
And it was like, never mind.
Did you see she came back though?
Oh, I didn't see that part. I just saw that.
You need to watch it a little bit further because she goes up to the door, and that door camera sitting there, and she's about to dump the whole thing in there. She sees
the camera.
She goes like that. She grabs like a couple of pieces and then goes that. But then she goes around the corner. Her parents are in the car around the corner. She comes back, and she takes. They must have told her, just get the whole daggum thing.
I know it had to come from the parents.
She dumps the whole thing in there and then takes off. And they come out. Just a couple. They come out, and I can't make out what the lady says to them. But the lady goes around the corner and says something to her, like you need to come back.
The lady said that to the parent or the girl who took the candy.
All of them. They were all in the car. So
that. But honestly. if your ass is too lazy just to leave the candy out there, it deserves to get stolen.
I mean, what do you
It's
expect?
going to go away anyway, but I mean, still, you shouldn't
What
encourage
did you
your kid
expect?
to.
Why? I mean,
You shouldn't encourage your kid to steal the whole damn thing, even though it's fair game.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's wrong on both sides because if you're still scared of COVID, don't even put out candy for trick or treaters. Don't even worry, but don't go through the hassle. But if you're just going to leave it out there, or you're asking for it, but would I send my daughter up there and say, "Hey, take the whole thing"? No.
I didn't see that second part. I just saw that she got busted. And
Yeah,
was
she
like,
came back. She
Yeah.
came
Oh,
back
wow.
again. You know what we should do? Maybe we should play that.
No, let's not do that. I don't want to get a lawsuit from a.
We're not going to get a lawsuit.
Yeah,
for
but
this.
you sit there and you don't bring out the kid's face, and we'll be held liable for. It's too much. The way people are nowadays, they sue over anything, dude.
It may not even be up here anymore.
Your dog's trying to get out. Oh, your dog just opened the door. Wow.
Yeah,
You're a smart dog.
She's very smart.
Yeah, takes after your
I don't
wife.
even think it's up
Not
here.
you. Not you.
Yeah.
No, you don't get the smarts from you, dude.
I'm not very smart. Yeah, I know.
You finally admit it. No.
I'm not smart. You're smarter than me.
Hey, well, you hired me, right? So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be too smart.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, so let's move on. Halloween was, uneventful. Yeah, I was off Monday, so.
Oh, that's cool. So you don't have a set schedule. You are like here, there, whatever.
Usually, if I work on Sunday, which I do that every other Sunday, I'll have Monday and Wednesday off. And then if I don't work, I have Sunday and Monday off. So,
Okay.
it doesn't. We're shorthanded as we are.
You're still shorthanded, so you still work a lot of overtime. But you are.
Yeah,
you do get paid.
we're not getting overtime though. They don't want to.
But
don't want us to get overtime.
they just spread your days out.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about companies, and I don't want to get on a business thing, but as much money as they're going to have to, if they hire somebody else, it's cheaper to pay you overtime because they got to pay for the insurance, they got to do all that stuff.
I agree.
I mean, it's just like they don't think. They say, well, you can't have overtime. Well,
We
that's
can't
why
give you
that's why your employees leave.
That's
you
why
know?
a lot of them have left. We've had.
And I heard this thing about I'm not going to get into politics. This is not where I'm going. But I hear all these people that aren't working since COVID. How the hell? And it ain't off the government because you have to go through hoops sometimes to get unemployment. Believe me, I've seen that. But it's like, how are these people living? I mean, it's not handouts from the government because it's like an act of Congress to get an unemployment check.
Isn't that over? That's been over.
Yeah. But how do they? Do they survive off parents, friends? I would guess so, right? Because I don't know about you, Stevie. I like to eat, so my ass is going to be working. I'll probably work to the day I die.
Yep.
Because there ain't.
I won't retire. That's for sure.
You see all these like little older people. It's like at my I work for a school district. Man, there's people been there 38, 39 years. I mean, God, that's almost as long as I've been alive. 10 years or so. It's like, and you kind of see it. It's like to live this lifestyle. It's just you, and that's under any administration. That's not political. I'm not getting political. But the cost of living, it's just gone up, and the paycheck has just remained the same. It's crazy. That's Jason's fact of the Captain Obvious fact of the week. There's no crying in podcasting.
Yep, exactly. So talk about what is it? 35 years ago today. Dokken comes out with Back for the Attack, which ends up being the end of Dokken. And
what was on that album?
Burning Like a Flame.
I like that one.
Kiss of Death.
Don't know that one.
Of course, you don't like Dream Warriors. We've made that clear.
That's
Mr. Scary.
That's a horrible song.
Heaven Sent.
That's a good song.
Yeah. And, reading a little bit about they had an interview with George Lynch and Jeff Pilson. Of course, they didn't interview Don Dokken, but
because he is a dick.
Yeah, I think that's to put it mildly. But they were talking about what caused a lot of the friction, and one of the things, there was several things that
Don Dokken.
Well, you listen to this now.
Interview.
This is pretty good right here. They said that Don was miffed that Back for the Attack didn't have one of what you call a showcase ballad, and he did put a ballad out there for the band, but they Pilson said it kind of got nixed because we didn't think it was good enough.
What song
He was
that?
upset, and understandably so. And the song eventually became, and listen to now this, I can't understand why they didn't think this was good enough. They must have done a lot of changes to this, because the song eventually became Walk Away, which was, if you were a Dokken fan and got Beast from the East, which was the live album, and that was the last album they did for the first split up. It had a bonus track that was like a studio song. It's called Walk Away. And man, Walk Away, it's freaking awesome. And it was fitting. It was kind of fitting that it was the last Dokken single. They did a video for it, and you could just like, oh, okay, this is the end. I mean, you could do a song called Walk Away, and the lyrics were like, just walk away, there'll be no more tomorrow. I mean, yeah. And you knew back then that it was coming.
What was that big song they had? Alone Again, right? That's a good song.
Alone Again. That was off, gosh, what was that? Tooth and Nail? Can't remember which one that was off of. But then you had In My Dreams and It's Not Love. We're too big off Under Lock and Key.
Those are badass songs. I like those two.
Yeah, they were just missing something, but they were on the verge. I think if they just stayed together, the only thing that makes me think
their lead singer was not what you call a handsome man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you look at all those 80s bands that they always had a good looking lead singer. I mean, Paul Stanley, Bret Michaels, Vince Neil, Sebastian, it's like they had.
He just couldn't do it, dude. Couldn't do it.
I mean, Dangerous Toys are badass, but there you go.
He had the long hair.
He had the voice.
And he had the voice, but he couldn't get past the. Oh, before I forget, you know how I do my album challenge, how I listen to the full albums. Well, this week.
You do that every week?
Yeah, I'll take a little time.
Man, you are a martyr. God, I don't listen to a new album in a month.
Well, it's not a new album. I mean,
I guess, yeah.
I have a list of like old ones that I haven't really listened to or I haven't listened to in a long time.
Gotcha.
You remember when, of course, everybody remembers when they did USA for Africa. Well,
Hearing Aid?
Yes.
We are stars.
We're stars. Well,
that's actually pretty good. I liked it.
That is a good, and it's about 6 minutes long.
I think the perfect person was Dio to like lead it, because dude, that dude was badass.
He was the one that kind of headed it up.
Because you want to subscribe. You want to describe like heavy metal to like a non-heavy metal person. I would put Dio, because I mean the music and the voice. I think I'll
say that, but I like Dio. I really did.
Me too.
But how do I say this? Some of the songs he did with Dio about the elves and the magic and stuff like that, kind of, I wasn't all into that. Now, like something like "Hungry for Heaven," oh, freaking awesome song. When he did like the rocking songs that were, but when you do some of this. I got the 7 elves from the magic land coming to the. I'm like, no, not gonna. I can't do that.
What I remember most about the 80s and Dio was the album covers.
Yeah,
like what is it where you would turn the album upside down and it would say "devil" or "evil" or something like that. and of course, it didn't help my cause any when he's got the priest in chains. Is that Holy Diver? I guess, and he's like,
yeah.
And of course, he
does
the hook 'em horns, but
that's Satan there, bud. That's
but I mean, they knew that shit would sell. That's why they did it. Yeah, you're going to burn the album, but you got to buy the album before you burn it. When 9 times out of 10, you listen, and like me, I did that one time. I did the album burning one time. My school convinced me to do it.
Which album did you burn?
But I wasn't into like heavy metal yet. I hadn't really. I started watching those videos, and that's when I rediscovered Kiss, and Gene was just like making the Preachers look bad. So I was hooked. I go, this dude's bad. And they play bad thing. They played I Live It Loud. And you're like a 10, 12-year-old kid. You're like, holy crap, man. And it was, I think Bryan Adams' Reckless.
You burnt Bryan Adams' Reckless?
Well, I didn't burn it. I donated it to. I think they did. I don't know if they burned it. They did smash. But dude, this is the spell I was under. This is the crap. We got to do the podcast. I'll tell you all about it. And I think it was a Madonna, not True Blue, but one before that, maybe Like a Virgin.
Like a Virgin, yeah.
Because that stuff was satanic, or as Paul Stanley would say, satanic too. Yeah. And you know what? After I got over that bullshit, I went out and bought them again. So I was double dipping. So of course they get their money twice.
I can't believe out of all the albums that you smashed or burned.
Reckless.
Bryan Adams' Reckless.
Yeah. No, it was. I wasn't quite in the metal yet, dude. That they thought Lionel Richie was bad, dude.
We can't
all
talk
night
about
long.
The summer of '69.
Like all night long. What are they doing all night long? Well, they're dancing on the ceiling, dumbass.
Yeah, and look, he even had a song on that album called Heaven, and y'all were freaking. I mean, geez, dude.
Dude,
I could see something like Wasp or something like that.
I didn't even get there. Haven't got that far yet. Like when
these are out, they did. You donated that album.
This is I was younger, but when we got into the heavy, they really tried to turn us against.
That was rock. The heaviest album you had was Reckless.
Yeah, I hadn't discovered AC/DC yet.
What was in your album collection for then? Don't. I mean, this is why you had Reckless was your heaviest album.
This is like early '80s. Before,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. What was in your album collection?
Alabama, Hank Williams Jr., John Anderson, Barbara Mandrell, the Grease soundtrack. Madonna. I didn't discover Prince yet. Madonna and Bryan Adams. I think Adams.
You had Like a Virgin, right? You had Hank Williams Jr.
Whiskey or Pressure's On. Yeah.
But you decided that you must have really wanted a Hank Williams Jr. to Madonna.
Well, I hadn't really. I'd kind of moved on from country. I'd kind of gotten into pop music. I was really into Madonna.
You know that song, was it Dress You Up?
Yeah.
Was like on the verge of being on Tipper's 10, right? Or whatever it was.
I had no idea who Tipper was. I knew who she was later.
Yeah.
But it all changed for me, Stevie. I had watched all that crap, and one of the albums highlighted was Back in Black. And when I heard those bells and then the guitar kicking in, I was like, I sold my soul, dude. And then I was like, and I remember my friends, we would watch that, and this girl, I let her borrow Back in Black, and she goes, "Oh, I was playing Let Me Put My Love Into You, and the room started getting hot." I go, "You know what that song's about, right?" I mean, Stevie, they thought that Bryan Adams was Satan. Yeah. And I must say,
because you sang One Night Love Affair.
and I tell you what, though, man, like all those people I went to school with, they're pretty much either missionaries or Christians. And I don't know. They follow me on Facebook at their own peril, dude. And I'm not even that bad, but yeah, we got it. When we do that show, I was very sheltered. That's why some of these movies you talk about, especially with like Keith, we talked about, right. I hadn't seen because I wasn't allowed to, because I was told dancing, going to movies, all that shit was just. What
did you live in the town that Footloose was filmed in?
Pretty much.
Good God.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
can't dance here.
And my mom wasn't like that. The reason I had a lot of those albums because of my mom. My dad's side of it. My dad quit listening to music. When I was a kid, I broke a Grease record, and he had to buy the vinyl. It wasn't me that broke it. Sure. He bitched the whole way about it wasn't Don Williams. I mean, it's like, but yeah, I know. I like Don Williams. But
nothing wrong with Don Williams.
No, nothing wrong with Don Williams. But my dad had gotten more into talk radio and gotten kind of real religious, and I had to suffer.
You had to suffer.
Yeah, it wasn't a happy childhood with that. And you see the way I am now. I'm actually still a teen.
I'm amazed Bryan Adams got smashed. Bryan Adams.
Well, he did help write. He's still write War Machine, and
he wrote War Machine.
Yeah. So hey, he was a.
He wrote No, it was Danger, wasn't it? He wrote Danger and
He wrote a couple of them.
Yeah.
But it all kind of changed when the voice of reason, Gene Simmons, got on and said a bunch of stuff that I won't quote here because I don't want us to get tipperized. But yeah, we'll get into it when we do it. But yeah, that's when I became, metal freak because of those videos that were supposed to keep you away from it. Yeah, but I did buy those albums again because Madonna was like my biggest crush, and when you didn't have access to Playboy, the album covers did the trick.
Oh, geez, that's sick. Let's see.
Like I'm lying,
War
Stevie.
Machine and Rock and Roll Hell. It's Rock and Roll Hell. Have you heard? No, they keep teasing this Creatures box set that's coming out. Kiss, if you don't know, we're talking about
16th, I think.
The demo for Not for the Innocent with Paul and Gene trading verses. Have you heard it?
Yeah, I played that for you.
No, you did.
I got that on that. I played it for you. I sent it to you. It's an old demo. I've heard it before.
When did you send it to me?
I mean, months. I said, hey, have you heard this? Not for the Innocent. I had it on there. I sent it, God, a long time ago.
Well, maybe I just don't remember it. Maybe I'm getting.
Yeah, it's Not for the Innocent. It's Paul and Gene going back and forth. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Should have kept it that way. I think I would have.
You don't like it?
Nothing wrong nothing wrong with Gene's version.
I thought you meant should have kept it unreleased. No, I love it.
No, they should have kept it back. I love that trading back and forth like that.
Lick It Up is so criminally underrated as an album that it
Lick
should
It
have been
Up or Creatures.
I mean, both actually. I Lick It Up should be up there as one of the best. I think that album should have been like 3 or 4 times platinum. It's a great album, and not just the singles.
All right, I agree.
Love Is Sweet, So Insane.
What we got off track, and
not us. We never do.
Never. What I was saying on that Stars Hearing Aids album, a lot of these bands from back in the day, contributed songs to it. I think it was like 9 songs.
Kiss did.
Heaven's on Fire live. A lot of the stuff they did was live versions. And let me tell you.
Cheaper.
Huh?
Cheaper than doing a new song, probably.
Except. Remember the band Except?
Unfortunately.
They sang
horrible band.
God, what was the song they sang?
Balls to the wall, man.
May have been Balls to the Wall. It wasn't.
God, that song is horrible, dude.
Anyway, let me tell you what. And I'm
gonna go burn that album.
I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, who does this guy sound like? And I figured it out.
Udo, what his name is?
I figured it out, and I'm gonna really piss some Accept fans out there off.
Both of them?
Yeah. If they're listening, he sounds like Greedy Smurf off the Smurfs. You listen to him though. He sounds like Greedy Smurf.
Greedy? Like I'm taking my money, or grouchy?
I think it was Greedy.
No, grouchy. Grouchy was the one always bitched. Yeah, that's grouchy. Greedy Smurf. There was no Greedy Smurf, dude.
There was a Greedy. I think
there was no
when
he had all the gold or whatever, the strawberries. There was no Greedy Smurf.
Here's Grouchy. Let's see if we can hear Grouchy. Hold on, we're gonna have to go through a freaking.
Before you submit your essays, run it
all right, blah blah. Shut up.
Oh, there was a Greedy Smurf.
Okay, that's not him, but he's coming.
Sky so blue and crystal clear, as leaves turn brown. I shed a tear. I hate.
Yeah.
Yep, that's him. That's him. That is the lead singer who Accept doing. That's like what was it? When Jimmy Kimmel used to do those the celebrities reading mean tweets, and they did a sports episode, and Dikembe Mutombo, Lord, he
read my house.
No, he read what it said. Whenever somebody said, whenever I get scared that one day the Cookie Monster's voice will be gone, I don't worry because I know Dikembe Mutombo is still around. He sounds like the Cookie Monster. He does.
Damn, dude, you're right. There was a Greedy Smurf. I never remember Greedy Smurf.
I told you.
Yeah, okay. You call it grouchy and greedy, whatever.
Same thing. They probably both sound the same too. But yeah.
That's why I can't listen to those. Like, don't they call them those Grover voices or Oscar the Grouch voices, like those death metal bands.
Oh yeah. I wish I could get
like they a friend of mine tagged me on a new video that Nina Strauss did, and she plays it with some other girl, that real pretty blue-haired girl. I don't know who she is, but like the chorus was great, but she started having that voice, and that just kills it for me.
Yeah, that does it for me too. Isn't Nita with Demi Lovato now?
Yeah, but she appeared on this girl's. I'll send you the video. He sent it to me because my buddy Bob, we ought to get him on sometime. He used to work for Alice Cooper, so he knows all these people and stuff. So we ought to get him on talk about that stuff. I know him from he's a paranormal investigator up in Chicago. So yeah, we should get him on sometime.
He's
Bob Jensen. I get him on there.
I'm surrounded by paranormal people.
Yeah.
Just
you, Stevie.
Just me.
Just you. Everybody else is paranormal to you.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So my dog doesn't think so either. You hear him?
He's over there burning the new Bryan Adams album.
he's probably still in shock, like I am about Bryan Adams here. Hey, guess what, guys? You got your wife.
Stevie, I told you I had a sheltered childhood down there. I did. It was like Footloose, dude. I mean, it was.
Burn my Bryan Adams.
Yeah. I mean, these people wouldn't let my dad be a deacon because he was divorced, and it was like, and that was a whole big dust up. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm glad I'm not part of it anymore. I mean, God, whatever God or Buddha bless you, whatever you believe, but don't push it off on me.
Well.
So we were talking earlier offline. Anthrax is doing was it a 40th anniversary tour?
40 would be 82.
Yeah, should be. They were about that time. Black Label Society and Exodus. Exodus is the old band that they were like Metallica, but they never quite. That's Kirk Hammett. That's Kirk Hammett's old band before he joined Metallica. And I remember Exodus from high school. They were all a bunch of skaters, and I could never skateboard. I always fell on my butt. But they got this new place. It's like a tech center. I guess it's Smashing Pumpkins played it. And Judas Priest is going to play there. And Wasp with who's the guy from not UFO, Schenker? What's his name? That was in Macaulay Schenker?
Michael Schenker?
Michael Schenker? Yeah, he's going to be playing. He's opening up for Wasp, actually.
He's opening up for Wasp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here. So but it's in March. I think it's in.
March. I don't mean any disrespect, but I thought Michael Schenker was a little bit bigger name than Wasp right now.
Yeah, but he hadn't really done anything since Michael Schenker group, and that I don't like shredders like that, but I like that song Anytime they did. Remember that song that anytime you need me, anytime you want me. He did a band with some singer, Macaulay Schenker, and it was like in 1989, 90, but it was a good song. I'll send it to you. But he's in it. But yeah. No, I mean Wasp is. I see a lot of my friends going to that concert.
Wasp is okay, but I just thought Schenker was a little bit bigger name. But maybe it's just me.
I'm not a Wasp fan. I thought the chainsaw, the buzzsaw coming out of the crotch was pretty inventive. But I like that song "Blind in Texas." That's a pretty cool song.
I bet you like the Blind in Texas song.
That's the only song I really know.
They did a cover of was Humble Pie. I Don't Need No Doctor. They did that on that. Now I'll tell you one, and a lot of people probably don't like it, but it's probably the only Wasp album I ever had, or cassette, whatever. The Inside the Electric Circus, and it's not bad. They did a song called 9-5 Nasty. Yeah. I guess that was like I can't remember what the song was about. I mean, why am I thinking this?
I only have so many ideas what the song was about.
Well, I mean, I wasn't a big Animal F Like a Beast fan. Was
did their name really stand for "We Are Sexual Perverts"?
No, and see,
That's what I was told growing
I've
up.
heard that. I've heard we are Satan's people too.
Well, that's much better.
Yeah, but and it didn't help when they had the little W.A.S.P. I mean, they could pass off like, oh yeah, we're just calling it WASP, but
It's to
we
sell
are.
albums. But
Yeah,
supposedly Black Loss is a big time Christian. Like
he is. They say there's some of the later albums that are better than the albums from the 80s. I haven't listened to any, but that may come up on my challenge.
I personally think the most memorable thing Wasp ever did was the Chris Holmes interview on Decline of Civilization.
Jeez, dude.
God, that guy's poor liver, man. Whew.
Did he just get declared cancer free?
He got a liver transplant, didn't he? He got cancer out of that.
Yeah, he got cancer, but I may be wrong. I hate to say it and be wrong, but I thought I read that. I know his wife went on social media because she was talking about, and I can understand this. I really can understand this, where she's coming from. She said he will sign anything for anybody. He spent hours after shows talking to people, signing whatever as much as they want. But then when you look on eBay and see, oh, guess what? Just got this signed by Chris Holmes, and they're selling like all this stuff that got signed. She's like, we don't have any choice but to start charging people for when we sign.
Well, it doesn't surprise me he signs it. What surprises me that people want to buy it.
Oh God, throwing shade big time, dude.
But his poor mother.
Yeah, sitting right there watching that.
And I need to read her book, but Lita doesn't talk too highly of him either. So
did you see Lita's little interview she did where she came out and said, I had multiple affairs with several rock stars? You think?
Well, it's funny. I know Paul's one of them because he talks about her in his book. Yeah, me and Lita had a lot of fun. I mean, that's all he says, and we'll leave it at that. Like, I bet you did.
Well, she had a thing.
She was in the Runaways, so she was pretty young when
she had a thing with Nikki Sixx for a while.
Yeah, Falling In Out of Love. That's a great song.
Yeah. Gosh, Chris Holmes, which I never. Well,
Bon Jovi too. She was with Bon Jovi.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Bon Jovi got around when he was with Samantha Fox, dude. In the Diane Lane.
Diane Lane, yeah. They always made him out in when you read the articles in Hip Parade stuff. They always brought up his girlfriend from back home. Do you remember that?
His
one
wife.
He's married to now. Yeah, but they always brought her name up when they were talking in the articles a lot, and I can't figure out why they would throw her in there so much. She wasn't any kind of a star or anything. So I don't know.
He kind of did the Matthew Perry thing we talked about last week. Like he talked about when he got married. Like, yeah, I did the Hollywood thing. Had the Hollywood girlfriend. He was cutting down Diane Lane. I go, don't be that guy, man. Come on.
Really. You don't need right now, especially. You don't need to be cutting down anybody.
But he honestly, I mean, I'm not the biggest Bon Jovi fan because I never liked him. I like the music, but he always made it about him. And granted Bon Jovi, but he does a lot of good stuff. Like he has that kitchen to where people they pay what they need, and he doesn't have to do that.
No,
so I mean,
that's
pretty cool. Yeah,
I don't like his. How do I say it? I just wish he would go back, and I know he
doesn't have the voice for it. He doesn't have the voice for it.
No, I'm talking about the lyrics. If you're gonna do a new Bon Jovi album, don't do like the last one, please. And I have heard rumors that Richie may be coming back
for the 40th. I guess their 40th too.
Yeah,
it's too bad that what's his name's gone. He just passed away. Alex
on such.
Yeah, but we got sidetracked again. Anthrax, great label, great.
White Label.
Great Label Society. Hello, White Label Society. You got me mixed up, greedy Smurf. And Exodus. But I guess when they're doing that, I guess the Pantera thing isn't going forward because isn't Zach and the drummer from Anthrax?
I think I just was reading something about, Anselmo said they're going to sound awesome. These guys are going to sound awesome. So that's got to
But
be going forward.
I guess that's after the fact then, because it's the whole first part of the next year.
I'm looking to see if I can pull up the dates.
And it's so nice to be able to get out and kind of we hopefully got COVID behind us, but you always hear these TikToks like, oh, so-and-so in New Jersey's got it. And it's like, God, it's just nice to be living again.
It starts January 17th and wraps up February 18th. So it's only a
tour. That's it.
Yeah. 24 days.
Anthrax or Pantera.
Yeah. All of Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Exodus.
You just said it. You said White Label Society.
I said Black Label Society.
You said White Label Society. Okay,
well,
whatever.
Purple, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, greedy.
Balls to the wall, Papa Smurf. Yeah.
What the hell was that?
January 17th to February 18th.
Were you doing a Smurf or trying to sing Bee Gees?
You don't want me to go Barry Gibb talk show on you.
No, I don't.
It's my show. Let's see. I'm looking to see if so evidently it's going to stop.
So I guess Pantera got it.
Yeah.
Well, they've been touring because they played Austin. They played a little place here, but I guess they're playing kind of bigger venues for that. So I guess Pantera is after that. That'll probably be a summer thing, which if they come here, I'll go see it.
I would think that was going to be a summer thing.
If they play here, I'll go see them. I loved Pantera.
All right. I don't think there's anything else we really need to talk. Oh, did you see? We were talking about, we did our guitarist episode, and we were talking about, Vito Bratta come up.
Yeah, I saw Mike Tramp said
Mike Tramp's going to come over and do a U.S. tour about songs of White Line. So that should be interesting.
Is that going to be acoustic? Is he doing acoustic shit now?
I think so. I think it's going to be acoustic, but we'll see.
Nobody wants to see a White Line acoustic. Come on. A couple of songs.
I tell you what people want to see is a White Line reunion.
Yeah, with Vito.
Vito.
Hey, Vito.
Hey, yo, Vito. If you're listening, come back, yo.
I had a Vito sandwich one time at an Italian sub place. Right? They called the Vito.
See, this is why Vito won't be listening to us, because you're comparing him to a freaking sandwich.
Isn't that what the president does? They veto. Oh, that's Vito or Vito. That's
it's
different
Vito.
way to spell. That's different way to spell Vito, I guess, right?
You can go to school. Yeah, but that should be interesting. I'll look forward to that.
That'd be cool if they got back together. They could open up for Pantera. They could open up for Pantera.
Is it Lomenzo? I think it's James Lomenzo, who was a bass player for White Lion, is a bass player for Megadeth now.
Wow, that's a change.
Yeah, big change. So that shows you how versatile he is.
What about the drummer? Is the drummer? Because I remember one of my buddies when Eric Carr died, he's like, dude, they make him a Kiss.
That.
I go, why? And he goes, man, he's got the look. And I'm like, is he? I mean, he's obviously a good drummer. I mean, the Radar Love. I mean, I personally like their version of Radar Love more than I do the original because it's got more balls.
Greg D'Angelo.
Oh, him too.
Let's see
Greg Bissonette was in with David Lee Roth. That's right.
Let's see who?
Greg Bissonette.
Yeah.
David Lee Roth. He always looked like he got off the surfboard just there. All the stuff he used to wear.
He was a member of Anthrax between 81 and 83.
Wow, went to White Lion. Wow.
White Lion. And then he performed with Zakk Wylde as Leonard Skinhead.
I remember that band.
Before they became Pride and Glory.
Pride and Glory. He was in Pride and Glory?
Before. No.
Are we talking about the drummer or the bass player?
Leonard Skinhead, that was the first name. And then when he left, they became Pride and Glory.
Okay, I remember Pride and Glory.
Let's see. Now he currently works out of his mixed studio in LA and is a counselor at Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. He's currently a principal with performance group Legends of Classic Rock. Okay.
Nice.
Maybe we need to reach out to.
Sounds like he's went the Duff McKagan way of kind of helping people out.
Yeah, maybe I need to reach out to this guy.
Stevie, reach out and touch someone.
Reach out and touch somebody.
That'd be a great interview, man. Maybe we can like our interview. So many people listen. Vito will come back and.
Yeah, we could spearhead the. Greg D'Angelo might not even want to do anything with White Line.
Which one? See the drummer, bass player?
Yeah, the one I was just talking about.
With Anthrax.
What? No.
I mean, Megadeth. Which is the
James,
one the bass player
James Lomenzo is a bass player.
for
Greg
Megadeth,
D'Angelo was, he's the
but he was in Anthrax before.
no. Greg D'Angelo, the
Drummer was in
drummer,
Anthrax.
he was
Yes.
in Anthrax.
I
and
know
he was in
Vito
White
didn't play
Flag.
with them. We're not talking. I'm talking about the drummer and the bass player. God, dude,
The
greedy,
bass
greedy.
player is James Lomenzo.
And he's in Megadeth.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I meant.
All right.
You were actually paying attention to me, Stevie. I'm impressed.
I
Doesn't happen often.
have selective hearing when it comes to you, bud.
Yeah, you have selective hearing. Period, dude. See?
No.
Yeah,
I hear a lot of people. I see a lot of people. I just like the water boy. Anyway, before we get sidetracked again,
Never.
let's get right into our main event. So, Album Wars. So, if you're not familiar with Album Wars, we pick 2 albums, and usually, next time, I think we need to pick 2, not by the same artist, but by in same genre, around the same time period, and go up against each other instead of doing the artist thing.
5150 versus Eat 'em and Smile.
That would be a good one. That would be a good one. Good one right there. That's what I'm talking about. But tonight, we're dealing with Kiss. If you haven't watched Album Wars, the last episode, what we do, we pick an album, we go head to head, and we pick our top 3 songs, and we put a poll out for you guys to vote on, see which one has the best top 3. So, and the best, and it usually ends up being the best album. But tonight, Kiss Asylum, which is Warden's pick, and I got left with the Animalize. So
You didn't get left with nothing. Animalize is a great album.
you picked. What I'm saying, you picked. You had the first pick, so I had. It wasn't like I said, "Oh, I pick Asylum too," or I'm going to pick the.
Hey, that's an interesting way.
I'm going to pick Bryan Adams' "Reckless" and be haunt you.
That's a good show idea. We sit there and argue about which are the 3 best songs. We could do that too. That would definitely be an album war.
The best 3 songs. I mean, that's pretty much what we're going to do.
But I guarantee you, my best 3 songs off Animalize aren't on yours. There may be one.
Well,
Like
you've
you
already
sent me-
seen mine.
Yeah, but you sent me one. There's one song that's on yours that's on mine. That's why I'm saying it's different. We could agree. But this is your baby, man. So age
So I get Animalize. We'll start with Animalize first.
Okay.
It's the 12th album from Kiss. The debut of Mark St. John on guitar. He replaces Vinny.
Debut and end.
Just remember this. It came out September 13th, 1984, and I got it. Let's see, that was about a month before my birthday, so I got it for my birthday. That was when I got my birthday money, or my present from my parents was a Purple Rain T-shirt, the Purple Rain soundtrack on cassette, New Edition on cassette, and Kiss Animalized on cassette. So that was pretty much my birthday present there. But remember looking at it, and you look at the cover, and I'm like, because it's not often. How many times have you seen Kiss do an album without the 4 faces on the cover?
Not many.
This one,
Elder.
Hot in the Shade,
Elder.
The Elder. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's
Revenge.
Yeah, Revenge. That's right. So it's kind of different because you're used to seeing the 4 members on it. I'm like, and then you open it up, and you see it's a pretty cool picture of them in there with they're standing on like a platform or something, and there's like fire. It looks like fire or lava all around them, and there's Mark St. John. And you really, I remember looking at this, I was like, hard to read this guy. Then you see the video for Heaven's on Fire comes out, and you're like, this. And I would say this, and I'm not saying it just because he left so quick. I was like, this guy does not look like he belongs in Kiss. Now the album.
Gene doesn't look like he should either in that video. Honestly.
Well, the thing is with Gene at that time.
Runaway, was he feeling Runaway or whatever?
That time he was not about Kiss. He was about Hollywood, and he had all that going on. So Paul was pretty much the man in charge of Animalize, and that that may have started the whole thing with Paul makes the decisions. Gene's not there, so Paul's the guy in charge, and then we come up with Thinking Stanley, but. So St. John.
You got to say it with the lisp.
Thinking Stanley.
There you go.
Yeah, but the album, I remember hearing, and we'll get into that, when it first starts with I've Had Enough Into the Fire, and I'm like, okay. And it's a different, I don't know if you feel the same way I do, but you can definitely tell, well, coming from Vinny, it probably wasn't that different, but it sounded.
It was heavier.
Yeah, it was heavier, but the guitar was pretty good. I mean, as much as I said he didn't look like he fit into it, he could play a guitar, and he, just like Gene said, he could play it fast and all this stuff. Not bad, but it was not Ace Frehley like. I'll put it that way.
It was better.
Well, it was a different kind of guitar.
I'm kidding. I know.
But Heaven's on Fire goes on to be the biggest hit of the album. It's pretty much the only. Well, they did come out with a video for Thrills in the Night.
Whatever. What is up with that? I mean, with all the bootlegs going out, was the video for the one about the office or the office girl, was that just never shot or it's never been released?
Talking about Thrills in the Night?
Yeah, because there's a video that they supposedly were shooting where they're all in suits and she's like a girl.
I don't know what happened with it.
Yeah, because I mean everything. I think everything has come out. Did they just not ever finish the video, or they never released it? Because I mean the only one video I remember is from the uncensored.
Maybe Gene
live
wasn't
performance.
Maybe
no,
Gene
he was in it
for the video
because I remember the first Kiss magazine I ever got was Kiss Exposed about the video, and they went back and they showed the videos. I think it was they kissed the videos, and there was an excerpt about them that it's a video that they shot but they never released. But I'm just surprised that with all the bootlegs going out that they never released the video. Yeah. Unless they never finished it because it cost too much. I don't know what the story is. But they have that's the one where Eric's like smoking a cigar and he's in the suit. That's from that video. And I mean, it was in the Kiss videos, I think, where it listed that video that the official video was never released.
Hold up. You might have an answer here.
You see it? Like you're seeing what I'm talking about?
Thrills in the Night, unreleased video.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good thing. That may be something we have to look into more.
Yeah, because the girl's in bed with Paul, and then Eric's like on it. He has his feet up on a desk smoking a cigar, and I think Gene's got his hair like slicked back. I don't know. I don't remember Mark St. John in that. Maybe he was out by then, but
he may have been out by then.
Yeah.
So they end up putting a live version of it out. And
which is pretty badass because it shows the logo and the fire and it kicks in. That's pretty bad. But
yeah,
the production is really bad in that. I don't know if
they're probably getting it straight off Analyze.
That's true.
Yeah, and everybody remembers Analyze Uncensored is and that's a great video. I remember, back when VHS first started where you could buy them, but that VHS probably cost like $70 when it came out, and I've got it sitting over here.
Those were like they started out like $99.99, went down to $79. Then they realized they could actually rent them with Blockbuster. That's how Blockbuster made it video more accessible. They made more like, well, we can sell this one time or rent it over and over and make more.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. 90 minutes.
I got that ripped in my phone. That's my favorite. That's like one of my favorite Kiss recordings. It's because it's like the TV. It's pro. I wish soundboard sounded like that.
Yeah, that's just you wonder when they do. I guess I did hear. I don't know if you heard Tom and Zeus talking about. They did delay the next off the soundboard album.
I heard about that
because of Creatures. Pretty much because of Creatures album that's coming out, this box set. But
I guess Creatures isn't. I guess it's not selling well because if you see how much is discounted.
oh,
wow.
geez, Amazon has got it like half price almost.
I got the Destroyer one, but honestly, I haven't bitten on this one. I don't know. I love Creatures, but it's like I don't know. I think maybe they released it too soon after Destroyer.
Yeah. But anyway, we've got Animalize, and you wonder what Animalize stands for. Paul said that it was meant that people would start to become more like computers, and that making music by pressing buttons was no fun.
Boy, howdy, did he tell the future?
So how do you get Animalize out of that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was just with all the leopard print and all that crap.
Oh, I thought they were just obsessed with that.
I remember growing up with that stuff, and I remember having that leopard print, but it wasn't really for Kiss. It was for Macho Man, because Macho Man looked like he could be on a Kiss album back then.
Yeah.
But I think Tom and Zeus mentioned this, that I always thought the back cover should have been the front cover.
Yeah,
that's a badass looking
picture. That was the picture I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, that should be the front cover, but instead you got
because that's like a post-nuclear world. I mean that continued like what Lick It Up did. You know, with everything was like Mad Max back then. And
you think some of this was carryover from Lick It Up, and they were kind of.
I think that was a big thing that was on everybody's mind back then, because it's like Mad Max is huge, and there was a big thread. I mean, you didn't live through the 80s. I mean, there was the Cold War was still going on.
Oh yeah.
I remember they would have TV programs about, like, remember the Day After Tomorrow? Day after, yeah, where the nuclear bomb went off. Dan Rather used to have all these series surviving, and I mean, it was scary.
But even they wanted you at school to get under a desk if it was a nuclear war.
Yeah, like that's gonna freaking save your ass, right?
Yeah, it had to be a pretty big desk.
I don't know. I think that it was just the times, and I actually think the Heavens on Fire video is pretty badass, because you're a kid and you see, God, they're hanging out with all these chicks. I mean, I want to be in Kiss. I had friends of mine tell me that's the one thing I remember from Kiss from the 80s is Heavens on Fire video. And of course, Jericho talks about that's how he became a fan with the hands. Paul Stanley screaming like with the, yeah. But how did he make it through that hoop with fire with all those tassels and pants he wore, man? Remember those pants always had looked like almost like stringers they do for a party or whatever.
Answer me this: what was the purpose of him jumping through a hoop of fire?
Fire, Heavens on Fire, bro.
It's kind of like on Tears of Falling video when he does the Tarzan over the volcano.
Or no, when he does what does he do? Like the windshield wipers.
That was so cool. I bet Paul said, they said, you know what we really should do is I could do the windshield wipers across my eye like I'm wiping away my tears.
You don't think that jumping through the fire was trying to compete with Gene? Because Gene was like the fire.
He wanted as much attention as he could. Look, and
it's still pretty badass. You got to
I'm not saying anything, but what I just don't understand. Is he in the circus or something? He should have saved it for Psycho Circus.
Well, that's when he was swinging on You Make Me Rock Hard. Remember? That's part 2. Remember that?
As long as, you know what? As long as he doesn't put the Folgers, any of the
Didn't he do that in the You Make Me Rock Hard? Didn't he do that again? Didn't he swing it again?
Yeah. Like that, yeah.
That was and I love Kiss at that time, but that was a horrible video.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't bring out any of his moves from the Folgers coffee commercial in there.
I thought that was pretty cool. What's wrong with that?
The best part of waking up.
It's Billy Squire part 2, bro. I'm talking about the vocals. I'm talking about the singing. That's what I'm talking about.
You remember
Billy Squire? Yeah, Billy Squire.
Remember when Peter did the beer commercial?
No.
There was actually a
what do you say?
Commercial.
This beer's for you, fucko.
No. He did gosh, which beer was it? But it was you remember the song that he had, Cause There's Nothing Better? Budweiser. Let's see if I can.
Don't know it.
If I play it, I think
I'll take your word for it. We don't have to listen to it.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll take your word. Take your word for it.
Getting back to Animalize.
We won't subject me to Paul Stanley. We don't subject to Peter Criss,
And this was one of those, a lot of people have talked about. Desmond Child had had some influence on this album as well. He had
You
one,
think?
two. He only had 3 songs though. Yeah, he was only a part of 3 songs on this album, but there were two of the biggest ones on here in my opinion. But
How and you know how Paul is. How pissed off do you think he was that? I mean, he put Desmond Child on the planet with "I Was Made for Loving You" with the world, and I mean, and Kiss did okay with him, but other bands were far more successful with him.
But you
than
know,
Kiss,
you would
like
think
Aerosmith and Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi, yeah, good lord,
Aerosmith,
yeah. But you would think that maybe Paul today would probably have a problem with him after that. You know what I'm saying? If it was like 19 when Bon Jovi had got all the hits with Desmond Child, Aerosmith had, Paul would have probably had a problem with him. You know, he would have made some smart ass comment probably about him. Well, I was the one that got it started, something like that. But yeah,
that's the thing about it is it's. I think at this time, Kiss was fighting against themselves because I remember when I got into Kiss around the Asylum era. I mean, Animalize was one of the first ones I bought.
Yeah.
And I just remember, and I'll give my kind of thoughts on, I think this is the height of Kiss's popularity sales-wise, album-wise, because this one went double platinum. They never had another double platinum after this album. Should have with Asylum and should have with Crazy Nights, because Crazy Nights was the 80s vibe. But they were always, everybody, it's like you see all the interviews with them, and they couldn't talk about the new stuff because people kept asking about their past. And they were so marginalized. Like I think if maybe Bon Jovi did Heaven's on Fire, it would have been a number 1 hit. You know, like Heart doing, you know, what's the Crazy Night song, you know, Reason to Live or Turn on the Night. Anybody else doing these songs, but Kiss, I mean, and honestly, I like that about them is because they got fat and they got happy. And like in the 80s, they were fighting. And I remember that, I mean, around the Animalize time, they were pretty big. They were a glam band, but they were pretty big because I remember that's when I started kind of noticing them more than I did in the 70s because I was more aware. But I remember seeing like a thing in Musicland, they had like this display of these bands. They had the Animalize lineup. It was with Bruce, actually. It may have been this. I think it was Animalize because Paul had that red leather jacket and he's going like this. But I mean, Kiss was, I mean, I like Asylum better, but I think to me, sales wise, Kiss, this is probably the height of the Kiss's makeup era. That's what I think.
Now this sold more. This was the best selling Kiss album since Dynasty. Hard to believe it outsold Lick It Up though.
Yeah, because it was double platinum and they didn't. That was their.
Not just because Lick It Up is a great album, but you would think Lick It Up would be the big seller because not just the music.
Lick It Up was a huge hit.
It's the first album without makeup. And, you know, people are, can they still play without makeup? Right. I mean, we want to get it for just the album cover.
I think coming off Creatures and coming off Lick It Up, I think that kind of pushed Animalize more. But I think, like I said, Animalize was they had 2 more platinum albums, Asylum and Crazy Nights, but after that it was, you know, hits and Revenge went. This was the height.
And it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe Revenge didn't go platinum.
Well, the music was changing. We know.
But listen to this now too. It's hard to believe Hot in the Shade because you had a freaking top 10 hit with Forever.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hot in the Shade was a little too much. I think they put a little too many pepperonis on that pizza. Like it was too much for. We loved it as Kiss fans, but
yeah,
I think if they would have worked hard, they would have maybe. And this isn't a hot in the Shade review, but they should have fine-tuned those songs more instead of giving us more. And I think it would have been a better. But like I said, this kind of goes back to them fighting their past. Hey, why did y'all break up? Why did y'all take the makeup off? That's everything they used to freaking ask them.
Yeah.
And it's like you could tell them getting annoyed with it. And it wasn't until like the 90s when they started re-embracing that. Yeah. Big word like gymnasium. they started like, okay, well, all these grunge bands like us. Let's do a grunge album, by the way. But that's when they started like, Extreme Close-Up. It took them a while. They tried their damnedest to get away from their past. And now it's like the direct opposite. They try to get away from this era. They don't want to have anything to do with the 80s, like they didn't exist, which is a crime.
Animalize, good album. And we'll wait till you talk about Asylum. We do our discussion on Asylum, and I'll give you my top 3 after that.
So you want me to do mine? And
yeah, let's just talk about Asylum next.
Okay. 13th album. It was released a year later, 9/16/85. That's back when Kiss used to pretty much, a lot of their albums came out in September. This is the first to feature Mr. Kulick. And this, as I've said many times, this was my first Kiss album, cassette, I guess, via Columbia House. And unlike Stevie and Zeus, I actually paid.
No, you paid the penny.
I bought the, because they sent me the next album they sent me was Joshua Tree, so I had to buy that one.
They probably threatened to put you in collections. Yeah. And you got scared.
I got this album because a girl told me about Tears Are Falling. She was a preacher's daughter, so no shot. But
no, wait a minute. I always heard preacher's daughters were the crazy.
They are, but I still had no shot. I like Tears Are Falling. Well, let's just say the Kiss is still around, but the girl's not. The faces are supposed to, I guess they're supposed to have like all their original, like purple for Paul and red. I don't know, the green and the stuff like Ace, the stuff that Eric's got on and the stuff that Bruce has got on, they're not really Peter or Ace's. They're kind of like that.
Yeah.
They're not really.
I mean, it's a different shade of it.
I just remember seeing this picture and thinking, God, Paul Stanley just got to be horrified because, I mean, at this time, Paul Stanley was like one of the go-to good-looking rock guys. I mean, he was in his prime. But, man, that is one of the worst pictures of Paul on the cover. Gene looks just, fine. But as vain as Paul is, I'm surprised he let this go. I really am because I was like, man, that doesn't look like Paul. I mean, knowing the Star Child from the old stuff, it's like that doesn't look like Paul. That doesn't look like Paul. It's not as fast as Animalize or Lick It Up. All Night is not in my top 3, but that is so criminally underrated as a song.
Yeah,
that song should have been huge, but once again, I think it's probably Asylum is my favorite non-makeup album. I think a lot of that has to do with nostalgia, but I don't know. It's between that and Lick It Up, but there's only one song on Asylum I dislike, and people love it because they said it sounds like Zeppelin, but I can't stand it. It's Radar for Love. I just never got into that. Never got into that song. Like, oh, is that what you do? Do your Paul Stanley? Oh, is that what you do? Stinking Stanley? Like in the beginning.
Hey, look, this right here, the back cover, and we're sharing it now.
That should have been the front cover. That's awesome, dude.
How hard do you think this artist had drawing all this freaking chest hair? I mean, Paul's showing major chest hair, and so Gene's showing a little bit.
Dude, that was the era of Tom Selleck, dude. He had to show the chest hair.
And
Come on, dude.
The sunglasses hanging off, he's cool. Yeah, I mean,
you know what I can never get about rock stars is that why they wore shit around their necks like bandanas and stuff. Like, why?
That was the thing.
I mean, that's so uncomfortable. And I went into that phase too, where I always had to wear boots all the time. I can't wear boots today because it hurts my feet too much. It's like
the only boots I
don't like
work boots.
No, I wore boots. I went to Six Flags one time. I had to be Mr. Rocker, so I wore my freaking not Stetsons. I think I was wearing Stetsons at the time.
Oh, jeez.
But I wore Stetsons, George Strait, brother. And no, Justin Ropers. That's what it was. Remember Justin Ropers?
No.
You don't remember Justin Ropers? It's a Texas thing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were. I would go to country places to get the rock look. I was like Gene. I couldn't really pull it off. I wasn't a Paul Stanley type. I wasn't very good. I looked like the dude from Accept, Vito, or what's his name? Ugo or Udo.
You mean Greedy Smurf?
Yeah, that too. I was no David Coverdale, let's just say.
But yeah, this, you talked about Kiss coming out with like an album every year. And I heard on another podcast, and Joey Casada was talking about it on podcast Rock City. The reason they were coming out so often with albums,
That
they
deal
were
they had, right? Then they had that
they were
deal.
living off. They were making their money off
Touring.
advances.
Touring.
You know, the album advances. That's the only way they could get it. So we've got to have this to get by. So, which I was not complaining because getting a Kiss album every year, once a
And now
year
it-
back then was pretty great.
And now it's like back then the touring really wasn't the big thing, but now it's
No,
the touring.
Now it's the tour.
And now albums don't mean squat. It's
No.
crazy. I mean,
Albums
record
don't mean
companies don't
anything.
care.
Tour.
Yeah.
What record companies? To be honest with you, of the major record companies out there back in the day, you had Columbia,
Geffen,
Elektra,
Polygram.
CBS,
Polygram.
Mercury.
Yeah, CBS was Aussies, right? That's right.
Yeah. So how many are left?
I don't even think Geffen's around. They were the biggest one there for a
Yeah,
while.
for a while. 'Cause
Universal,
right
I think Universal owns all those.
Yeah. What happened? Where are the record companies now? Because I mean, I used to could, when I had one of those double decker cassette tape like suitcase, it looked like a suitcase. I used to organize the cassettes by the label. Atlantic, that was another one. Atlantic.
Oh, AC/DC, yeah.
Yeah, Atlantic. And I used to do it by the label. So this is CBS, and I could tell you by the way.
Really? I did mine by artists.
Yeah, I could tell you, which by just looking at the outside of the cover, which one was Atlantic and which one was what was it? Was it a Polygram?
Polygram, Mercury. They combined.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was thinking, I was like, God, I would think if I want to be back then, I would be on Geffen because they had they had Guns N' Roses, they had like White Snake. Yeah, they had some big artists.
Yep.
And they went down. I mean, I think technology killed all those companies because people don't buy albums anymore.
Yeah,
and it's their own fault too. So I mean, they try to blame Napster, but what was Metallica on? Elektra, right? Yeah, Elektra.
Ooh.
Elektra. They were on Elektra.
They were on Elektra. You sure?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I think so. They were on like Rising Force, or they were on that. What's that one Ace was on that Eddie Trunk signed Ace to? Megaforce. Then they went to Elektra. That was Elektra.
I remember when. Oh, what the heck is this? I don't want that.
Porn popping up again, Stevie?
No. You remember the Cliff a Mile home video?
The video?
Yeah, there was a performance they had, and they were talking about their new record, and Hetfield said, coming out on Megaforce Records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they wanted to call the album Metal Up Your Ass, but that's what they call it Kill 'Em All because they wouldn't let them name it that. Did you ever, speaking of Elektra, you know that, I don't know if we talked about this before, but you know how Motley Crue got their catalog, right? Like they signed that deal after Dr. Feelgood, that big deal, and so Elektra wanted out of the contract, and Nicky wouldn't budge, and he goes, "Well, give us our masters, and we'll do it." So they pretty much gave Motley their masters, and that's the thing they got dropped. So that's why a lot of artists don't own their masters, but and I think Motley just sold theirs too. So.
Yep, they did.
That was because grunge was coming out, and they kicked Vince out, and they were just after the '95 album, they were like, "Nah, we don't want them anymore." So they got the last laugh on that.
So back to Asylum. Let's talk about these videos from Asylum. Let's lead it off with Tears Are Falling. So he's in a room. And he comes up to this. I mean, the girl's just he's sitting there in the corner, just sitting. But
he's not wearing his other garb. He's wearing overalls, Stevie. What is up with that? You're Paul Stanley, 1985. You got to be wearing the flamboyant shit, man. Come on.
He's sitting there in the corner the whole time. She's ripping down curtains.
Yeah.
And then
they're all dusty too. They're dusty as hell.
He turns around. He turns around when she gets it.
Like double take. Yeah. No, it's.
So then we go from the house with no curtains now to all of a sudden we're on a freaking island with a active volcano.
Yeah.
And
Swinging like Tarzan.
yes, Paul swinging across the volcano like Tarzan. It just didn't. I mean,
this is
didn't
Gene's
fit the
worst.
song.
This is Gene's worst look in the 80s. He
I
talks
don't know.
about
Yes,
Phyllis
it is. You're right, it
Dillard's
is.
cousin.
It is because he.
I mean, he doesn't look this bad. He doesn't look this bad in Who Wants to Be Lonely. He looks bad in Tears Are Falling.
He wore too much makeup.
Yeah,
and I'm
he
not
was,
talking
he was
about
trying
the white,
too hard.
the black and white makeup. I'm talking about he wore too much makeup on that tour.
Eric Carr looked pretty badass though.
Yeah, Eric
like
Carr.
when he looked up and it was playing his. I mean, he looked badass.
Yeah,
Eric Carr always looked cool.
And Tears Are Falling, I think the Bruce solo, of course, is freaking awesome. I mean, and
yes, I like that part right before the solo. I saw you cry. That is fucking badass.
And then he hits right into it, and he's sitting there in the rain playing the solo. Great.
That's the one. Is that the one where he comes out of the water too?
No, that's Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Yeah, okay, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in just a second.
Yeah, that one I got more comments on. I got more comments on that one. Yeah,
because I'm trying to. Okay, let's move on to All Night.
Yeah, All Night was so good. Ace had to rip it off with Insane.
Where is the video? Definitely.
Yeah.
Where are they at? Tell me where Paul's at. Where he comes walking down a staircase with a Navy hat on. Is he on a boat? I mean, where's he at? All of a sudden he takes it off. Woo! And I'm like, oh no,
he takes it off and he's pouting.
Then he does and then the hair's all like in his face.
That's like in the Exposed. There's the hat from All Night video.
Yeah.
And there's the album for Asylum. We didn't have the platinum one because there was a hole up in
it's covering a hole in the wall. Yeah, I actually watched that is on YouTube.
But that's what you talk about the Paul Stanley from back then. They could laugh at themselves, and now he's been through so much therapy. It's like, come on, dude, have fun. Man.
It's the ultimate legal high. Sugar.
But yeah. Oh, do you ever have meat for breakfast?
What? Root beer. We're gonna put root beer in our cereal.
Or do you ever have meat for breakfast?
Yeah, only when it's fresh.
Can you imagine if they release that to now and he's having those Hillary and those girls changing?
Yeah, both of those they would cringe right now if somebody they would never re-release that now.
Is it out of print? It's out of print, right?
Yeah, that's the one that was what year did that come out? 86?
87, 86,
87?
It was before Crazy Nights. It was between Asylum and Crazy Nights. Yeah.
That's what they didn't have a reissue of Exposed. That's what I need to do is get on Twitter and say, I want to Exposed reissue.
Yeah, no, you need the Paul Stanley commentary with it. Him critiquing his own work. That's what you need.
No, let me tell you. You know what would be worse than anything we talked about is the Paul Stanley workout.
Oh, shit.
That's freaking rape, dude. That girl he's up there trying to.
No, it's not rape. Come on. It's not that bad. It's not. She's just playing hard to get.
Paul Stanley workout. Yeah. She's playing.
Yeah, but she's not like running away from him. Come on, dude. It's, he's sexually harassing her. Put it that way. Not raping her. Okay, come on.
So that would be big time cancel culture right there.
Can you imagine? Imagine? Gene, it's a national organization of women about the benefit. Can you imagine this? And he's like not even paying attention.
He got a thing up here. He goes, the National Organization for who? And she says, women. And he goes,
and he's like totally lost his concentration for women. He just like walks off like,
yeah.
Oh, and then you got Christine living the full life.
You reckon that was named after like Christine 16?
I don't know.
She's a little bit older now.
I don't know, but you kind of think about that. Those women are probably grandmothers by now.
Can you imagine? Hey, Grandma, I was looking at this thing on YouTube. Look, this looks a lot like you. Carol? Is your name Carol?
Yeah.
I guess you could say you went Carolyn.
I love that. That's so funny. Somebody put that on. Somebody had that on Facebook or something Paul did. And I go, did he go caroling? And I got a couple.
Yes,
that was pretty funny.
That. I can't figure out, and we're getting way off track here.
But you gotta think about it too. These guys were in their mid-30s. They were single.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were literally starting over. If you think about it, like them having to live off advances. I mean, they totally didn't put that lifestyle. I thought they were like they were rich.
Until
richer
later,
than they were.
you actually read what was going on at the time. You think Kiss was like rolling in cash, but
The reunion tour saved their ass, because you see those stuff like on Family Jewels, and you see the little modest house that Gene and Shannon lived in with the kids. They had bunk beds.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the reunion tour where they got that. They had better management with Doc, I believe. I think
Can you tell me what the name of the manager was before Doc?
Glix Marks or something like that? Markman. Yeah, something Glix something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have a well-known manager.
And I think Bill Aucoin too kind of screwed him. I mean, not on purpose, but
he got in over his head.
They thought Kiss would last forever, and
yeah,
Kiss probably the Kiss world would have probably lasted longer if they would have done better. I mean, nothing against Dynasty, but if they would have not done Unmasked or even The Elder. But that's a different.
You remember the traveling amusement park they were going to have?
Kiss but they had to cancel a lot of the stuff on the Dynasty tour. That started happening then. They were still pretty big, but I think the disco killed a lot of shit for them.
Yeah.
And I don't think they got a lot of those fans back to the reunion tour. I remember getting into them and loving Kiss, Exposed and stuff, and like, yeah, I used to like Kiss before they sold out and stuff. And sure enough, when their reunion tour came back around, oh yeah. But,
okay.
We talk about who? We talk about All Night.
All Night, yeah, and then you see the girls everywhere.
And I think it's funny too is when they all looking in the window and
look
stuff.
through the keyhole, and
Bruce is like, and he's like, wow, they included me in the video. Of course, Eric is cool as hell. Eric just had Eric had the cool hair. Eric just kind of
he just looks up there like
it's like Gene and Paul were like acting out, and Bruce, but Eric cool as hell, man. Just cool dude. I mean, rest in peace, man. I miss Eric Carr, man. I mean,
but yeah. So we go through that. Okay, now the last but not least, Who Wants to Be Lonely? Where?
It's just like it's not even his face; it's his chest.
He's got to do what is the deal with the close up of where he takes his? He's got to show the chest hair.
It was the Tom Selleck era, brother. Chest hair was in.
But you saw a close up of him just pulling back his coat so you can see his chest hair, and then he goes like that. Where is he at? Tell me where this freaking.
He's in a tunnel, right? And he like walking.
It's a tunnel.
It's like on fire too.
Fire. Then evidently you go to some waterworks department, a county waterworks department, and they're unleashing stuff everywhere.
Honestly, tell you what, dude, I would not wear those tassels by a fire.
No,
you catch those damn things on fire, you're really going to be on fire heaven. But
you got all these women dancing around, and they're playing around a freaking indoor pool.
Yeah. There's no more fire though, right? We got rid of the fire.
Fire's gone. If you can't, there's no possible way fire could exist there because there's so much water around. Her shoes, when they're showing her shoes, it symbolizes the 80s so well. It's like, who thought to put padlocks on a freaking shoe? I mean, who thinks about that? I mean, it's some designer from Andy Warhol or something. Yeah. And he probably got paid a lot of money to do that. Oh, let's put a lock on here. That's art. How much do you reckon a women's shoe with padlocks would cost you back then? It's probably like $200-$300. But honestly, it's weird. And this is how I kind of thought about it back then. I didn't think it was weird back then because I just thought that's how rock stars were. Look, that was one of the freaking coolest videos to me back in the day. That's how even like the Asylum. You last at the Asylum era, and you look at the Animalize era. Gene looks like he just went for a freaking hunt off Game of Thrones with all the leathers wrapped around his arm. And Paul too, but it's like an Asylum. They totally went the direct opposite. They went colors. It's colors everywhere. But I didn't think anything of it because it was always looked like a girl. I mean, but they kind of changed their look about every album. After I guess after the makeup stuff, you went from Love Gun to Dynasty was Super Kiss. But they changed their look, like costumes and stuff in the makeup era too. So that's what I'm saying. It started then, but I mean, it kind of changed. The Hotter Than Hell look changed after to Love Gun, and then Dress to Kill before that. But I forgot to mention in the All Night video, didn't Paul wearing those like
teddy bear pants. They got all those teddy bears on them. And you see him jumping around and you realize why he's had 2 hip replacements.
Yeah. Oh, he jumped. Look, back then, you go watch on YouTube. Go find a Asylum or Crazy Nights
Oh, yeah.
tour. It's the first thing when they come on stage, because I don't think on Crazy Nights they had the big stage entrance. They just ran out on stage, and all of a sudden you see him do it. Paul's doing like, you ever seen Grown Ups 2 when David Spade talking about they got the young kids are getting ready to force them to jump off the cliff,
Yeah.
and David Spade talking about what is it? Taylor Lautner's about it. He said it must be pretty serious because this guy's doing like 11 backflips for nothing. It's kind of like Paul. Paul's doing somersaults everywhere, and he's like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's like on the Animalize Uncensored. Man, they're running around like.
Oh yeah, they run all around.
They ran around more, but than they were in the makeup. It's like even like. Did you ever see that first video they shot of Lick It Up? I think it was. I don't know. It was like was it Germany or something? They were playing that first show. Man, they were just
without makeup.
They had new life, dude. That was not the '70s band. I mean, that was they didn't do that in Creatures.
That was the one in Portugal, was in Lisbon, and you see, you see all the people looking like.
Because that was advertised with the makeup.
Yes.
Yeah, because that tour. I think Martin Popoff said on the on Shout Out Loud that it was yeah.
But yeah, they're all them people in that crowd look like, who are these guys? Where's Kiss? Where's the blood?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't think anything of it. Because that's how rock stars were back then.
Some of the coolest parts of the Who Wants to Be Lonely video are the parts where the camera is down below and Bruce is doing the guitar, Gene's doing the bass and all this. But what's the purpose of the lady unwrapping herself in cellophane, like tinfoil or aluminum, whatever it is?
Maybe Paul that's his birthday present. Who knows?
And then the lady decides to roll over and fall into the pool. But the god awfulest moment of the whole video.
And was that video really banned? I mean, I look at it, it's like there was stuff that was worse than version. It. Why wasn't this a single?
I have no clue. It's the best. To me, I mean, Tears Are Falling is up there, but Tears Are Falling has a little fatigue. Who Wants to Be Lonely is right up there with Tears Are Falling for me. And
you want to do our top 3?
Well, hold on before
okay.
The god awfulest moment of the whole video is at the end when the girls have him and he all of a sudden he's in the shower.
Yeah.
That big helmet head he's got. I mean, he's got like 30 pounds of Aquanet in there. And all of a sudden when that one hits, it just goes poof, down like this. And I'm like,
it goes over his face and he's like, yeah. Paul is the guy that
stop with the water.
Paul is a guy that needs his hair big.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they were on Oprah and it was I mean, God, he had his hair slicked back. It's like, dude,
no, you don't need to do that, bro.
Speaking of, a hair expert that I am,
Yeah, all that hair you got, bud. I don't know how you take care of it like you do.
Hey, man, it's all one length.
Pretty much.
That's what when I went to go Skid Row when they were touring with Pantera, like Sebastian goes, that's one thing about Pantera. Their lead singer has his hair's all one length. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, and then Paul dances off into the sunset down the fiery tunnel again.
Yeah, the fire's back and the outfit's back.
Because he's had enough. All the water is dried up, I guess.
He's had enough. He's into the fire. Now he's out of the fire.
Yeah. True.
The one they wouldn't play on television?
You mean the one that you've said you've got the uncensored version of Who Wants to Be Lonely? The one they wouldn't play on TV? I don't see the difference.
A lot of that was, I didn't think it was, compared to what they were playing at that time, I think speaking of that area, one of the worst, you talk about degrading is, is it Waco Jr., where the girl's like leading him into there and she like takes him to the bathroom and she goes down. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, that should have been censored. I don't know if it was, but not Who Wants to Be Lonely. That was just a girl having fun and waterworks, I guess.
That was the first indoor.
Was that Waco Jr.? You know what I'm talking about? And also, where the girl takes him. She's like the blonde, real pretty groupie, and she takes him to the bathroom and she's here going to her knees. I'm like, wow. Because
there was a lot of degrading videos back
I
then.
also remember that one as the girl walking out in the end of that video with the guitar on her butt. She's like, you can see her shape. Like, nice.
All right. So now that we talked about Who Wants to Be Lonely video.
Now we've said women's rights back 40 years. You know?
Yeah. Let's get right into it. We're going to give out top 3 songs.
Do you want to do like an Animalize first? You give your top 3. I give my top 3.
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
that.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. This one was tough here. And a lot of people will probably going to be surprised at what I'll start off at number 3. Number 3, we talked about the video, and we will definitely get more into this unreleased video. Thrills in the Night. It's just got a different vibe. And I like when with the bridge before they go into the chorus each time, she's not just walking around in a mystery. I like the sound. I like that. But it grew on me as time goes on. Because first, I had Heaven's on Fire. You played that. There was a couple others that I played, but never got into Thrills in the Night. And all of a sudden, I listened to it one time on my headphones, and I'm like, okay, this isn't bad at all. And then the video came out, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. Thrills in the Night, though, is my number 3. Then my number 2.
Let me discuss Thrills in the Night. I got something to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thrills in the Night. The video, of course, reminds me of Animalize Uncensored. I kind of wish they would have done the vocals a little bit more because this video, I love the song. Don't get me wrong. It was a ringtone at one time of mine.
For who?
For me? No, it was just a regular ringtone.
I had that. Thrills in
no.
the Night. Did you have a booty call out there or something?
No, I'm in bed by 9:30. There are no Thrills in the Night anymore for me.
Back in the day, though.
Yeah. Paul in this vocal, he sounds kind of like he has a cold. Like he's kind of nasally a little bit. I always thought this could have done better. I mean, I love Paul Stanley's voice, but he always sounds kind of like nasally and kind of vocally here, like, but I mean, it's Paul Stanley. I mean, it's a great song. Great tune.
The verse is really not that far off from being like him just rapping.
Yeah.
I mean, like All Hell's Breaking Loose. It's not as bad as All Hell's Breaking Loose as far as the rap. It's not to that extreme.
But it sounds like he's got a cold or congestion. I just think they could have done the vocals
I haven't really
better.
noticed that.
Yeah, that's my take. I've always thought that. Like that, they get that Thinking Stanley. That kind of reminds me of
Stanley here,
where they get a lot of that.
Listen.
Yeah. Let's go.
Number 2. And a lot of people are going to be surprised at this because this is and a lot of this has got to do with fatigue. But Heaven's on Fire.
Still in your top 3, though.
Yeah, I mean, Heaven's on Fire is a great song.
Oh yeah.
The intro. Everybody knows the intro. He loves to do that. I doubt he could do it too well now, but yeah, I mean, and the guitar solo is pretty great. I think St. John did a good job. And look, St. John did a great job on this album. A lot of people don't give him enough credit.
Yeah, but there's a lot of rumors that they were, of course, ghost musicians as always, and Paul did a lot of the work too, because this is what I've read.
Yeah,
that Paul St. John wasn't exactly thrilled, like, I can play faster than those guys, and that wasn't what it was about with Paul. Well, so I think Bruce probably did a lot more on this album than he realized, and I think there were some ghost musicians too.
Bruce is credited, and this is just what they actually say here. He's credited with a guitar solo on Lonely as a Hunter, and additional guitar on Murder in High Heels.
Probably the only song on that album I don't like.
It's a Simmons song. Back then, they weren't that great. But Gene does some good songs on Animalize. Anyway, Heaven's on Fire is my number 2, and that's, of course, the big single off the album. Everybody goes to Animalize. They think about Heaven's on Fire.
The writer, David Foster, this was his favorite song of 85. He actually
David
Foster, yeah, that this is one of he thought this was a great pop song. Another song, I think this should have been a bigger hit for them. It was a big hit for them. But like I said, they had that stigma of Kiss. Like if Bon Jovi would have done this song, it would have been much, much bigger. It's just crap they had to deal with.
This just fit Kiss. I mean, this song fit Kiss. I mean, I can't.
You can't see Bon Jovi doing this song. I can. It's Desmond Child. I can. I can see Kiss doing In and Out of Love.
I don't see. Oh, I can see that. I just don't see Bon Jovi was like the poppy. I mean, they were so poppy back then.
Yeah, this is kind of heavy for them.
Doing a song like.
But you can see another band doing this. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But can you honestly see Bon Jovi doing a song called "Heaven's on Fire"?
I think at the time, yeah, because they wanted to make it.
Well, I mean, I just don't think it
I
fit them. That I don't think they were like. It was like, no, we can't do that. We'll do Silent Night.
Well, maybe Bon Jovi's a bad, but any other any other band big at the time could have done this. Well, not Aerosmith, obviously.
Not Aerosmith.
They would have.
What other band was right there that could have done it though?
White Lion?
No, not a Heaven's on Fire.
Rat? I don't know. Maybe a band.
Maybe like Dawkins.
Oh God, no. Better production. Maybe a band that didn't make it did this song and they would put them over the top. Maybe that.
That may have been something like that. But yeah, that's my number 2.
I'm just saying Kiss had a lot of resistance being Kiss. This
I
know.
Hit,
that's it.
Well, nobody took them seriously because of the makeup and stuff.
Yeah. And they were always trying to escape it.
Exactly. My number 1 is the leadoff song, "I've Had Enough," Into the Fire. Paul Stanley, Desmond Child, who is, for like I said, 3 songs on this album. Yeah, I just like the way it comes out, that guitar riff opening up.
Awesome.
And it starts off, and the guitar solo is pretty great, and Paul's vocals are on point. The bridge and the chorus, just great. But
and
yeah,
it's not really a typical Kiss song with a solo starting out like that. I mean, you have like the "Got Love for Sale's" kind of like that.
Yeah,
you can count on one hand where the solo is really kind of front, like in the beginning. It's usually towards the end or middle.
I've had enough.
Yeah, good song.
Yeah,
they actually played this live for a while too.
They played it a little bit on the Animalize tour, didn't they?
Yeah, it's like Exciter. They didn't really, I guess,
go over. I wonder why. I mean, you think about when they're doing their set list, and I mean not now. I'm talking about back then when they're doing. I wonder what, like, let's say when they go to Asylum. Okay, we're going to cut out a lot of Animalize. You're not going to get a lot of Animalize, but I wonder if they ever we should do "I've Had Enough" a couple of times. We should do that.
They probably did it just to try it out, kind of like Within off Revenge. Great song live. Studio, but it didn't transition live.
Horrible live. Gene can't handle it.
But it's like I'm saying, it's kind of just more examples of Kiss doing this. They were trying to get away from of course, they did Rock and Roll All Night. They did Love Gun. But they did more new music. Like, you look at some of those set lists for like Crazy Nights, and there's hardly any classics at all. You got Love Gun, maybe.
And then they went back to it on Hot Shade.
Hot in the Shade, they realized what their bread and butter was that what people wanted to hear. But that had a mix of old and new.
That probably
not like now where it's just
Hot
basically.
in the Shade was probably the most balanced out of any tour they've done.
That's what they had to play 2.5 hours. It was great.
Yeah. But so my number 1 is "I've Had Enough."
Okay, my top 3. My number 3, we talked about it before. It's the only one that's on both our lists. It's Heaven's on Fire. Okay. I remember when I didn't know much about Kiss, and I remember my buddy telling me, I think I've told this story. And he would go, "Oh yeah, I like that song Heaven's on Fire." And I'm thinking, of course, me growing up burning Bryan Adams albums, it's like Heaven's on Fire. Oh my God, they are demonic.
We did burn Bryan Adams' album because Heaven was on that.
Yeah, but Heaven's on Fire, I'm thinking, oh my God, there's a war going on in heaven and Kiss is destroying the angel. I mean, I had these, and then I listened to it. Oh, it's just about a hot chick. Okay, that's not bad. It's another sin. It's lust. So I like the video. I think the video is very, very. I think Eric Carr said that shirt he's wearing, where he's making out with that chick, is the green shirt. It's the one he's wearing in one of the Crazy Nights videos, he said.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Are you going to pay attention to me or be on your phone, Steve?
I'm listening to every word you said.
Yeah, but you're on your phone, man. This
No,
is
I had
my
a text. I had to answer.
this is our time.
Well,
Okay.
I can tell you, I had to answer a text.
Number 2 is what I always kind of considered a sister song to your number 1. And it's a song that really, your dog agrees.
Yep.
It's a song that really got me, it got me kind of going through some tough teenage angst. One of the, what fucking difference does it make? You got to get all you can take,
You gotta.
I always thought it was kind of a sister song to I've had enough, that you're just going through a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I
like that. Sing along, let me hear you humming.
Like at the end, ooh yeah. At the end, I like that part. Great song. I mean, I used to jam that a lot, and I remember a lot of them had like parental warning stickers on, but I never understand why Animalize didn't, because it had had that on there. I guess maybe you can say that F word one time, I guess. And anything on that, Stevie?
Oh, look, there's. Let me tell you, this should have had. I mean, you're looking dams in this. The dams in this. F as in S. I mean, yeah, this was actually on the outside looking in for me. Actually, like number 5. Number 4. Yeah, number 5 for me. Get All You Can Take was number 5 for me.
I think for me with this song is that I was really got into Kiss because of Gene, and with this song and hearing and Into the Fire as well, hearing Paul, I started gravitating towards. I mean, I like them both, of course, but I really started liking Paul's. I mean, he was the heart of the band at the time. Gene was, he liked to talk.
Gene was hot.
But I really started noticing Paul on this, like songs like this and Into the Fire. Because, I mean, this guy was singing his ass off, man. He just has, and he had a voice like anybody else. Nobody sounded like Paul Stanley.
Yep. So, Get All You Can Take. You're number 2. All right.
And my number 1, you're going to remember this because this is on I think this is my number 1 on our top 10 deep Kiss tracks. It's a Gene song. And like I said, he gets a lot of crap for, his song. I like his stuff except for Murder High Heels. I don't like that song. I don't like Boomerang. That's probably 2 Kiss Gene songs I don't like. While the City Sleeps. Give them hell while the city sleeps. And Gene got this song he likes old movies. And I remember an interview with him. There's an old, I don't know who's in it, but there's an old movie called While the City Sleeps. And he wrote the whole song about them. But
he was really getting, I guess Paul probably told him to, you need to come up with a song. You need to have something in here. And he was like, well, you know what? I'm going to watch a movie tonight and I'm going to write a song about the movie.
But his songs get shit on. He's got some good songs. There's a handful that are good. I can only think of Boomerang and Murder High Heels that I don't like. I like his other stuff. I like, what's the one you said Bruce plays lead on? The not Murdered High Heels. What's the other one off Animalize you're talking about?
Lonely as a Hunter.
I love that.
Yeah, Lonely as a Hunter.
You know what I mean? I like that. I mean, I'm a Gene guy too. I mean, but
yeah, this, looking at the lyrics, I mean,
it's not
what kind of movie he was watching. What goes on behind closed doors? Private wounds, open
source. Yeah,
you're your own worst enemy, and cheap thrills bring you to your knees.
I think
thumbs down for someone and it's easy come and easy go.
I think whatever rhymed is what he threw, because we all know he had all those demos, so it's like, hey, there you go. It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like when you do a half-assed homework assignment, you have this idea in that thing and you just put it together to turn it in. That's what he's doing. Some of that stuff's great though, I think.
Yeah. So While the City Sleeps that was kind of low on my list because that's
a deep track.
Yeah, I had like Under the Gun, Get All You Can Take, Lonely as a Hunter, Burn Bitch Burn.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's like two songs on these 2 albums I don't like. I don't like Radar Love and I don't like Murder High Heels.
You talking about Radar for Love is on Asylum.
That's what I'm saying. These two albums.
Oh,
Like
okay. I
one
got
song.
you. I thought you said
there's only there's only one song on each album I don't like.
Okay, I got you.
And I listened to both of them today, and I still don't like them.
All right, let's get right into Asylum. Your top 3 on Asylum.
Okay, Asylum.
Number 3.
This is probably my first favorite Kiss song, and I think it's up there with While the City Sleeps. It's another Gene song. And I remember being, how old was I in 1985? 13? I had no idea what the hell lingerie was. And I remember asking my dad, I go, hey, what's lingerie? And I was thinking it's like a cologne or a perfume. You know, it was a hot day. She wore lingerie. She was a hot day. Yeah. Where did you hear that from? You need to go burn some more albums.
Go burn Brian Adams. That daggum Brian Adams has come back again.
Yeah, you think that Brian Adams is bad. Wait till you get to Secretly Cruel. My first favorite probably Kiss song. I listened to Asylum and I knew Tears Are Falling. But this stood out for me because it was just about straight ahead fucking, excuse my French, but it was Gene, Gene was my dude. This is my first Kiss album, and I was still trying to get to know Paul stuff, but I love Secretly Cruel. I like the part at the end. Yeah. It was like, yeah, I love that.
I'll tell you that's my number 3 as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and we've talked about it before. There was a guy on YouTube that he wore each band member's makeup at different times. He made a video, and he turned Secretly Cruel into it sounded like a 70s Kiss song, and it was freaking awesome. I'll have to share that on the Facebook group, but Secretly Cruel, one of those underrated songs, and I'm like you. That's my number 3 as well.
You know what I'm thinking, Stevie?
Cause it no secret.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we may have the top 3, same top. That's what I'm thinking. I'm making a prediction here.
Maybe.
I'm thinking we have our same top 3, but I'm thinking our 1 and 2s are in different order. And you'll know by when I tell you what my number 2 is.
When you tell me what number 2 is, I'll know.
My number 2 is Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Yeah.
It's this why this was not a single. I don't know why.
They have no clue. How was it not a single when it got put out for a video though?
Well, they did that. They did that back then. They would have videos but you would think, right?
Yeah, that it just doesn't make much sense. If you're going to do the video for it, you should have a single. It should be a single.
Yeah, but maybe the record company didn't want to. Maybe they figured Asylum was dead, or they didn't.
Only one single released from the album, and you had 3 videos.
Yep. This is a song I wouldn't show them the video, but if I had to give
Stanley, then
if I had to play an 80s Kiss song for a non-Kiss fan, this is the one I'd play.
This would be one, yeah.
This one or my number 1, and you know what my number 1 is. So,
yeah, I probably, and I wanted to give away because we could probably do a top 10 non-makeup Kiss song list. That should be something we look at doing.
I'm sure we'll get to it.
But I'm like you. If I wanted somebody to hear Kiss from the 80s, this would be one of them on my playlist.
Yes.
And it would be near the top.
This and Boomerang.
At the top. But, I mean.
This and Boomerang.
Oh, God, that train wreck.
The music's awesome. It's just the words.
It's just everywhere, dude. It doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, Who Wants to Be Lonely? Don't watch the video. Just listen to the song. But, yeah, I'm like you. I had it number 1. And it's definitely my favorite song off Asylum. And probably, I don't want to give it too much away, but anyway.
Well, I don't think it's hard to tell what is. My number 1 is Tears Are Falling.
Oh, yeah.
This is the song that helped me get into Kiss, Girl. And this song proves right here, when he wants to set his mind to it, how awesome a songwriter Paul Stanley is.
Yeah.
He wrote this song all by his lonesome. He didn't need Michael Bolton.
Didn't need Desmond Child either.
Yeah, and one of the things about this is another song I think it's made the top 40, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure. Billboard top 40. I don't know. Should have been bigger. Like I said, somebody else does this song. Maybe it makes them a star, but they were fighting their past. But actually, I had Spotify before I got into Apple Music, and I think a couple like 2019 or 20, it was my number one. It was my number one. Kiss was my number one band, of course.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think. Yeah, they were. But this is the number one song that I played. I don't have no fatigue for this song.
You mean the Revolting Cocks weren't your number one?
No. That's another podcast. I don't get tired of this song. I used to get tired of Heaven's on Fire because that's all they would play on the radio. But Tears Are Falling, another song like Who Wants to Be Lonely, if that symbolizes how great Kiss was in the 80s. And it should have been a bigger hit. Should have been top 10. I mean, especially the songs. I mean, when the Children Cry makes the top 10, it's a crime. You know how I feel about that song. This song should have.
I'll tell you this. Like I said, I got into Kiss when I was like 5, and my cousin, he was the one. He's an older cousin. He was the one that got me into it. But his sister, she was never really much into the whole Kiss thing. Yeah, she
probably like this.
But this, yeah, we were sitting. I forgot where we were at. We may have been getting ready we had a youth choir at church, and we may have been getting ready for practice.
You had no album burnings that night, Stevie?
No, we didn't. We didn't have any Bryan Adams albums, so we couldn't do any burning. But this song came on when we were waiting, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I love this song." She said, "Who is this?" And I was like, "It's Kiss." She said, "Really?" She said, "I love that song."
See, a lot of people, you surprise them.
Yeah. I was
Kiss.
really shocked that she was,
It's just more of that stuff they had to fight. They're the guys with the makeup, right?
They're the guys.
I mean, they were a totally different band. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, but all right. So my number one is Who Wants to Be Lonely. We talked all about that, and but yeah,
it's crazy, man. Our top threes actually match.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this: All Night was on the outside looking in.
Yeah, me too.
King of the Mountain, even though Paul decided to put some Humpty Dumpty lyrics in the King of the Mountain, just for the freaking drums, the drum intro on King of the Mountain is freaking awesome.
I always thought King of the Mountain and Give Me More were kind of sister songs. They're kind of got that fast kind of different, produced differently though.
I did like Trial by Fire.
That song was another song like Get All You Can Take that really just talk about being yourself. I don't know. I thought that song could have been a single.
Trial by Fire?
Yeah, it's got a great
I just don't
chorus and everything. I love it. The solo's kind of weird.
I don't understand just putting one single off this album.
Was maybe the record company would do. I mean, I don't know if it's that.
You got a band like Kiss.
Yeah, but they know what Kiss is going to sell. They're like that. They have that fan base. They're only going to sell. They're going to sell 1 million copies. So why push it even more?
Well, if they'd have,
I don't know.
You put out a single. I don't
think so.
You put out a single like "Who Wants to Be Lonely."
But what? But the radio wouldn't have played it anyway, though, because they're Kiss. That's my point.
MTV was playing it.
Yeah, but MTV played "Hide Your Heart," but radio didn't. I mean, it's like it's got that. I know it's that stigma that Kiss has. Turn on the Night, another thing. It just they got that stigma they were fighting, and I know that they get frustrated with that shit. That's why the makeup came back on, because they had reached to what they could do without the makeup. That's why the makeup saved the day. And that's why they totally ignore this era, because it was a lot of fight for them to do that. They were fighting to stay alive.
Tears Are Falling went to 51.
Okay,
on
not
the
top
Billboard
40.
Hot 100.
See, it should have been higher.
Yeah, on Main Street Rock, it went to number 20.
Well, yeah,
So, but as far as the album, Asylum, on Billboard's top 200, it was at number 20. So,
yeah, because you think about that they struggled to get airplay a lot, but
hey,
albums were still selling. They knew how much they would sell.
It was number 1 in Finland, number 3 in Sweden. So
it wasn't Crazy Night. Didn't Crazy Nights? It was like a big song in like the United Kingdom.
Yeah, it's big in England. They say they still play Crazy Nights on some commercial over there. Somebody was talking about,
but I think it's just the stigma of being Kiss, and I think that it had to get frustrating that Hide Your Heart wasn't bigger, Tears Are Falling wasn't bigger. I mean, Forever was a top 10 hit, but that song was. I think the Bolton connection helped out a lot with that.
But no, I don't think.
Oh, I do.
I don't think the Bolton thing, because a lot of people didn't even.
I think
he was
going
to read the liner notes and say
no,
if
because
you're not a Kiss fan.
No, I'm not taking anything away from the song, but he was breaking at that time, and I think it put more eyes on the song. That's all I'm saying.
Forever was okay. How do I say it? Forever was the perfect ballad for the perfect time back then in the 80s.
I still say Bolton had a lot to do with it because Bolton was very big.
I didn't know.
I think it just got him noticed more. Yes, I think I got him noticed more.
Well, it got him noticed more after the fact because a lot of people didn't realize Michael Bolton wrote it till after when it started hitting top 40. That's when people started saying,
I disagree.
Michael Bolton did this with Kiss.
I think it does more than you. Because what is that song different than anything else, Bolton? Just saying. It's my 2 cents.
Up until that time, Kiss didn't write a ballad like a Forever.
What is Tears Are Falling?
That's not a ballad like Forever.
It's a ballad.
Not like
because it has acoustic guitars, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah. I think it helped. I think it helped them. I think
it's gonna be another poll.
Stick your pole where the sun don't shine, dude. I don't care about polls. All I hear these days is polls. I don't hear about the North Pole.
One more. Guess what? You're gonna have to deal with one more because we're gonna.
That one I know because I'm gonna win.
Yeah, you'll probably win this one. I agree with that. But
both good choices.
Now that we've got our top 3, now it's up to you. We're gonna put this on Twitter. We'll put it on. We can actually put it in Facebook groups now because you can do polls in there. So let us know. Which one did better? Was it Worden with the Asylum top 3, or was it me with the Animalize top 3?
Hey, if you like heavier Kiss, vote what you like. It's your choice.
Whichever you like.
There's no wrong choices, as we always say. Although we're told that many times there are. So
we have been told that by one person a lot.
But they're just wrong.
yeah. Okay, it's just wrong. But anyway,
it's my wrong.
So that's going to do it for tonight. But next week. We'll be pulling double duty next week. Not double.
Are we? Is there going to be a pay increase with that, Stevie?
Yeah, you get paid double what you get paid now.
Nice.
Yeah. Not double duty, double duty. But we are full of crap. But yeah, next week we're going to go retro for one night. And then we're really excited about, retro. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I had to think because they're both kind of retro.
They're both retro, but and another Kiss. It's another Kiss related episode next week too. But we'll have 2. You get 2 nights of watching us if you want to.
Are we doing back to back? So they really enjoy it. Or are we doing skipping night?
It's going to be back to back.
Really?
Yeah, Tuesday.
You haven't informed my agent about this, Stevie.
Oh yeah. Well,
my agent. I may have something to do. I may be shooting a commercial.
I'll pull solo. I'll do my solo album on Tuesday night. Then if you, I know you're not giving up Wednesday night.
Hey man, I may be writing a song with Michael Bolton, dude. You never know.
Oh my God, you're gonna play some black. You're gonna do a blackjack reunion tour. What was the name of that song they did?
I don't know.
People Are Crazy.
Oh yeah, that was
on the video. Yeah.
Only thing crazy was that hairstyle.
Yes, very. Well, it got worse. Michael Bolton's got worse. Look, I'll tell you this. At that time, I had the mullet, but my brother, he had the whole. Our brother started going bald when he was like 18. So
he's bald and you're not. Yeah, that's karma, dude. What'd he do?
But anyway, let me tell you this though. The way his hair was, he had it long in the back, and I wish I still had his driver's license because there was one where he had the long curly hair in the back and hardly any hair up here.
That's the skullet.
That's freaking Michael Bolton right there, dude.
That's the skullet. You have nothing on the front and the back.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I never really had.
up here.
I never really had long hair. I had the Ric Flair do. I had that. I had I had like the Horseman era. You know, like the late '80s.
You need to post
I had that.
pictures to prove that.
I gotta find that. I don't know.
But
we didn't do selfies back then, Stevie.
No, I didn't do selfies. But
I didn't like pictures back then because I was a big freaking whale back then.
You were scared. You were scared to Bryan Adams fan.
No, I weighed about 350 pounds. I was a big bastard, dude. I was a big dude.
No,
I looked like that. Who was that guy in Head of the Class? That was me.
I remember that dude.
That was me.
It felt like he's a scumbag too.
Yeah, I've heard bad things. Yeah. It's like, okay, maybe not quite like him.
He worked for like a lot of the kid shows.
Nickelodeon,
Nickelodeon, yeah, that's it. But so
not
next
like
week,
that guy at all, dude. Not like that.
So remember, vote in the polls, and we'll have the results next week on one of the shows next week. But next week, like I said, you get 2 episodes for the price of none.
Where can they find us, Stevie?
They can find us on all social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can find us on our Facebook groups at that 80s page on all things rock, hard rock, and metal, and on the Fly page. You can find us podcast wise. You can find us on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Leave a review.
Yeah, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, Podchaser, wherever you listen to us,
and we know you're listening because we see the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are going up.
We're not near Joe Rogan, but we're doing okay.
We're not setting the world on fire, but we got a spark. I'll put it that way.
We're not a couple of flaming youths yet, dude. So
yeah.
you know
we got a spark there, but that didn't.
We know
sound
we
good.
got listeners
good,
though. We got
bud.
listeners. Yeah.
That didn't sound good. Anyway, we're approaching
the flaming or the youth?
Both. We're definitely not either one. But
yeah, that's true. True that.
But we're getting close to another milestone. We've hit this one quicker than we hit the last one. So I can tell.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for getting it out there if you are. But yeah, leave us a 5-star review. That will help more than anything because it gets us up the ladder a little bit. It gets us noticed by more people. So leave a 5-star review.
Of the mountain.
King of the mountain.
Anyway, you slice
all the king's horses, all the king's men. We're getting crazy again and again.
Here, kitty.
And then Humpty Dumpty came and fell, and then he got crazy too. But we're actually we've got a little bit closer tonight to that goal. I'm looking at it right now. So
nice.
But yeah, check us out there. Leave us a 5-star review, and keep listening, guys. And if you have any messages for us, email.
We're not hard to find.
You can find us on Facebook. DM us on Facebook, either one of us. Or you can send an email to the Final Score Entertainment at gmail.com. That's Final Score Entertainment at gmail.com. And we'll definitely give you a shout out. But any last words, Worden?
No, we appreciate you listening. Like I said, we're seeing an uptick and stuff. And me and Stevie give each other a hard time, but I'm real grateful to be on this podcast. I mean, it's a blast, man. I mean, to be as well compensated as I am, just hanging out with, just having his company, you know what I mean? I know. You know, and it seems like every week I say something that surprises Stevie. So like this week it was like we used to burn Bryan Adams' album. So it's tune in next week. You never know what you may hear.
Torpedo Girl burn Bryan Adams' album.
Revolting Cocks. Revolting Cocks.
Yeah, that's one too. But I think the Bryan Adams album is going above Torpedo Girl.
I keep telling you, Stevie, I had a sheltered life. You asked me about these movies. I had a sheltered life, believe me.
Bryan Adams is the devil. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You would be surprised when we
Did
do
you have
our
any Anne Murray albums. Maybe you were just against Canada.
Oh no, they talked about her, Amy Grant. When we do I'm gonna have to find these books. When we do these the what's it called? The Satanic Panic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a lot of research.
They talked about Amy Grant.
They talked about Amy Grant. So she was secular. They talk about Stryper just because they suck. And they talked about, remember Petra? Remember Petra?
I've heard of Petra. Yeah, I have
They were
never
a
heard
big.
of Petra.
Yeah,
I
but
know who they are.
because they're quote unquote secular. Because there's a Bible verse that says, "Be this world, but be in this world, but not be of this world." I mean, this group.
Amy Grant was secular.
Yeah, because she went pop, baby, baby.
Oh my!
This is before that. This is when she. No, dude, you don't. Man, you had girls couldn't wear pants; they had to wear culottes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if you've seen it, but a lot of the stuff in Christian, they always try to rip off what's going on in the. Like they have their own superheroes, Bible Man or whatever. I mean, yeah, when we do that one, I may piss off a few people. They don't talk to me now anyway. So I mean, a couple of them blocked me on Facebook because I was looking at it, and one of them was a good friend of mine. We disagreed on a couple of things, and he wouldn't give it up to say I turned the other cheek. He didn't. So bye. So yeah, we the Satanic Panic. That's gonna be a lot of fun, dude. We're gonna have to actually incorporate playing video clips of this.
Yeah,
because not the music. We won't get in trouble for that, but I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if you can play a video clip on YouTube, or we can refer them to the YouTube clip because.
Yeah, we'll just have to refer.
I mean, I was sitting here taking advice from a guy who looks like Ron Jeremy's brother, so that it was the '80s. So,
wow,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right.
I can't wait for that one, Stevie. I have more secrets. Then that'll be a good one. It'll be like the Barbara Walters interview with Stevie Fly.
I promise you guys, we have some big names coming up, especially if you're a fan of rock music, a fan of, maybe I will say Kiss. There's some big shows coming up. We got some interviews lined up.
They're so big. He hasn't even told me yet.
Yeah, they're waiting in the way. I have told you.
I know.
I have told you. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week, guys. It is November. Don't put up your Christmas decorations till after Thanksgiving. So
yeah.
Please,
or just don't take them down and just you're perfect timing, right?
Them up the whole year. Anyway, guys, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week on the fly.
See ya.